Small group adventures always lead to big experiences.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to Daily Recall on April 15th, 2026. I'm Tom Stoukas, coming to you from Sarnia, Ontario. Sorry about that. Technical difficulties. So, where are we today? April 15th. The big thing on my social medias in Sarnia, there's now a nationwide manhunt for this guy, Kawa Chindo, age 24. He's the main suspect in the shooting that took place last early Friday morning, and where a 20-year-old was killed outside a campus bar. So cops are still looking for this guy. Now they have a Canada-wide warrant on him. Wanted for second-degree murder, attempted murder, ×2, because he shot 2 other people, and possession of a firearm while prohibited. So he wasn't a legal gun owner. So hopefully they catch him. I'm sure they'll catch him. I mean, how many Asian guys with a total full neck tattoo are there? There's not really many that. So it's just a matter of time before they catch the little prick there. Who knows? Maybe he went to Cambodia by now. Could be gone in the jungle. So I heard he's in he might be in northern Ontario. He could be. Who knows where he is? He's definitely not around here, because they'll lynch him if they catch him around here in Sarnia. I'm pretty sure he's not around here. So we'll keep an eye on that. The guy, Dane Nesbitt, 20-year-old kid, poor kid. Senseless, very senseless violence for nothing. His funeral's going to be, I'm pretty sure the funeral's this Friday. So yeah, it's horrible. Sarnia Police Service will now be able to retrieve Kiao Chindo from anywhere in the country. Let's read the article if there's anything. I mean, there's not really much. They got the gun. They got the guy who was with them. They got a couple of their friends who kind of covered up for them at the aftermath of it. But they still haven't gotten this guy. Look at this guy. Okay. Police say he may be attempting to alter his appearance. I don't know how he's going to do that. The 24-year-old is the primary suspect in the fatal shooting of Dane Nesbitt on April 10th. Okay. 3 others, Udom Richard Bunn of London, Ava Leigh Lightheart of Sarnia, and Jonathan Osborne Walsh of Sarnia, have already been arrested in connection with the shoot. So they're probably gonna rat him, testify against him so they can save their own skin. Okay. Funeral visitation service has been scheduled. Thursday visitation, and the funeral is Friday at Temple Baptist Church on Quinn Drive. So yeah, Sarnia wants this guy, but let's say even if they catch him, well, they will catch him hopefully, but assuming he hasn't skipped the country, I don't think he has, but let's say they catch him, and I'm afraid, what the families are going to go through, because it could be years. They could drag it out over years. I mean, he might plead it out right away, but even then, it'll be interesting to see anyway what sentence they give this guy, because going into shooting, thinking you're in the Wild West, shooting off a gun when you're not being threatened or whatever. You shouldn't be mixing with society. Look at this guy. we'll have to wait and see how the court treats this guy. So yeah, that's it for Sarnia. So on Canada news, obviously Monday was the by-elections in 3 ridings in Canada. Carney was only 1 seat short of a majority after our MP, Marilyn Gladu, defected to the Liberals. And so it's kind of like a foregone conclusion that she was going to get, Mark Carney was going to get the majority that he wanted. And he's probably happy because he's a central banker and he don't want to mix in with the peasants. In, election times, you have to kind of do that, and you have to actually touch them sometimes. So he's probably very happy. I don't think he's in a rush to go to an election. And they're trying to pitch it like as a national unity government. Like, I guess we're at war. We're going into war, so we need a national unity government. So that'll be I'm sure that's what Marilyn's telling herself and other conservatives that'll cross if they do. After the by-elections, like they're saying a few more conservatives are going to cross. So that's where we are. We have a Liberal majority government. Who knows what they're going to do? I mean, it's not a huge majority, but there's still a majority. So who knows what they're going to do with it? Probably put us in jail. Start war. Who knows? Maybe nothing, but I'm a little worried. Liberal majority. It's not like the Conservatives were much of an opposition anyway, so that's where we are with the Canadian politics. Now we'll see how Pierre, if he gets any challenges to his leadership over this, because Carney's kind of beating him at everything. I don't like Carney at all, but he's beating him at everything. Like he's even looking less pro-immigration than he's making. Carney's even like taking the immigration issue away from Pierre. The way he's kind of saying, "Oh, we're cutting it," and this and that, and also the gas. He stole Pierre's idea to cut the gas tax for temporary relief. So he's basically outplaying Pierre. So it'll be interesting to see if Pierre sticks around as the leader. So we'll watch that. But yeah, we're screwed with the Liberals. We're screwed with the Conservatives too, but they have to make it look like legitimate, I guess, to the people. They have to make it look legitimate, this whole thing. But really we're going to be told what's good for us soon. What's going on here? Okay. I'm not very optimistic. With Carney as a majority, with a majority government, like he's at the Bilderbergs. Who knows what they got planned for us? Doug Ford was like announcing that they're gonna build a bunch more prisons, and people are like, "Oh, that's a good thing," but then I thought, who's gonna put in these prisons? Probably us. Probably like regular Canadians. We'll look at the Iran war too. It's kind of quiet. Like the ceasefire still goes till next week. U.S. is blockading the Strait of Hormuz now. I've heard some ships have gone through. Some have been turned back, but I'm sure everybody's just this whole ceasefire is just it's just like a breather for them before they start shooting again at each other. Like they're saying, they're trying to do second round of talks after the first round kind of fell apart. But I think they're gonna do the ground war. We'll find out. Israel wants to go full on, and that's who's controlling it. Anyway, let's look at Canada first. Some Canada stuff today. not usually good stuff, but Canada. What's going on with my bookmarks? Okay. This thing's bugging me today. Yesterday was Vaisakhi, or I don't know what the hell that is. It's some Sikh holiday. And literally every politician in the U.S., Canada, and Great Britain was sending out the happy Vaisakhi greetings. So it's a Sikh holiday, okay? How many, between the Hindus and the Sikhs, they got like a million different holidays. And seems like a Canadian politician has to mention all of them. I mean, people say, oh, it's not a big deal, but it kind of is, because it's like, this is not a Canadian thing. This is an Indian thing. If they want to celebrate, whatever. But it's clear that the politicians, they don't give a shit about. Here's Pierre. Happy Vaisakhi to all celebrating across Canada and the world. The Khalsa represents the very best of... Okay, whatever, but they're just pandering for votes, okay? They don't give a shit about your... whatever god it is, Vaisakhi. That's the truth. So, but they're basically trying to turn Canada into India. So by doing this kind of stuff, it's like it dilutes Easter, Christmas, all that, whatever, Western civilization stuff. So I just said I'm going to respond to everyone saying, and it was a lot of MPs, a lot of MPPs, conservative ones, interesting, in Ontario, and a lot of MPs and all the party leaders got to get that Sikh vote. So I don't know. So this is Canada, not India. And I looked through a lot of the comments of all these Sikh holiday, the Sikh holiday, that I don't even know how you pronounce it, but they're all pretty negative. Because they're really not even hiding it. They're saying we got to turn Canada into India, basically. Here's Pierre. I'm watching this. Greatest hits of Pierre. I'm picking on Pierre, I guess, but Carney at least doesn't do this. He's been prime minister for a year, and I don't think he's dressed up that much. Let's do the greatest hits of Pierre here.
Direct flight to Amritsar now, so that we can fly and go see the Golden Temple.
Go.
See, we have the biggest Punjabi expatriate community in the world.
We need a direct flight to Amritsar.
And we will bring a direct flight to Amritsar. To try and get a direct flight to Amritsar.
And sir, you have said that if you form the next government, you will start direct flights from Canada to Amritsar to Punjab. So what is your refreshed plan on that?
Well, we want to work with the Indian government to get a direct flight from Vancouver and from Toronto to Amritsar.
I will continue to fight for a direct flight from Vancouver to Amritsar.
My team, which includes Tim Uppel, my deputy leader, are working with them to get a direct flight from Vancouver and Toronto directly to the state of Punjab.
Oh. It's like he's more pro-India than Carney. I guess they say Carney's pro-China.
The new conservative government that will fight for a direct flight to Amritsar.
Fight for a flight directly from Vancouver and from Toronto to the state of Punjab.
I like the music too.
He signed on with Modi to an open skies agreement.
This is why Pierre's losing.
He signed on with Modi to an open skies agreement that doesn't include a flight to Amritsar.
flight to Amritsar.
Active disrespect. After 8 years of Trudeau, we still don't have a direct flight to Amritsar. My common sense plan would nail down a deal with India.
Common sense plan is never to close all the flights from India.
Vancouver to Amritsar.
Trudeau did not even get us a flight to Amritsar, even though our per capita
Amritsar.
way than any of those other places.
Okay, I had to show that because it's a classic. But yeah, Pierre actually, Carney's actually shown himself to be less pro at least flight to Amritsar than Pierre, so it's pretty funny actually. Okay, next on the thing. So yeah, all the politicians are wishing the happy whatever day. I was like, wow. It's like every week there's a different stupid Indian holiday. And like, we're not in India though. It's not hard to understand. I saw this article here, BBC. Canada was once a dream destination for Indian students. Is that changing? Hopefully. I didn't even read the article, but I'd like to know why it's not it was a dream destination. Okay. Come on. Stupid BBC. I just want to see why they're not coming to Canada so we can improve. We can keep it up. Okay, at an overseas. Holy shit! What is this? A pop-up ad? Okay, at an overseas education consultancy in Indian capital of Delhi, students sit with their parents flipping through brochures from universities in Italy, Germany, and Australia. But one destination, once the top choice, is now largely absent. So until 2023, most of our applications were for Canada. Okay. Now he says they've seen a drop of nearly 80%. That's good. People don't want to apply to Canada anymore. We are also seeing a very high visa rejection rate. According to the report submitted by Canada's Auditor General, okay. The share of Indians in the country's incoming international student population was just 8% in September 25, a sharp drop from 51.6 in 2023. Wow. See, that's what Carney is better on immigration than Trudeau, that's for sure. Because Trudeau was in when that was going on. So, yeah, that's quite the drop. There are a number of reasons. Visa and immigration restrictions, high living costs, and in 2023, a diplomatic crisis that damaged ties between the two countries. For years, Canada held a strong appeal for middle-class Indian families. Its private colleges offered a seemingly reliable pathway, even for average students to study abroad and eventually settle there, of course. It was an immigration program, not a student visa program. The route was mostly straightforward. Enroll in a 2 or 3 year vocational course, find a job, and within a few years apply for permanent residency. The process typically took around 5 years. It worked until it didn't. The shift has been driven by a mix of policy changes and economic pressures. In early 2024, Canada announced a 2-year restriction on how many international students could be admitted, capping around 350,000 per year. This was a big blow for many Indian students. At the same time, living costs surged and jobs became harder to find. Rents climbed sharply across major cities. All right, so we just got to keep that up. Keep those restrictions not enough. They got to keep going. So I guess that's a little bit of good news, but I still see lots of them coming. So I'm sure they're getting in some other way than the student visa way. That's what I think. It's like they're like, they were coming the student visa way, and then it was so obvious it was getting abused, so now they shut that down. But the problem is they'll find like a different way to get in. Different way. But still, I guess a little bit of good news. And next, Toronto. They're turning Toronto into India. And I was in Toronto a few months ago, and I've noticed this change over the last few years, like, because I used to live in Toronto, and I never noticed these scooters are everywhere. So basically, there looks like they're food delivery dudes. Lots of Indians and all third world sort of guys doing the, you know. So it looks like they're delivering food to the condos, all the condos that surround Toronto. But I was like, wow, I said, this is weird. Like, there's so many scooters in downtown at young Dundas Square, and it just felt like a different city. And then I was kind of like, I didn't know, I couldn't figure out what it reminded me of. And then now, after watching this, seeing these posts, I've seen a few of these posts today about unlicensed e-scooters are now using bike lanes, sidewalks, and trails with impunity, putting many at risk. If the authorities don't enforce the law, the citizens will. So, and here's a video, one video. Is there sound on this? So yeah, these are everywhere, these scooters.
Road.
If you go downtown Toronto.
You? Road. Nope. Road. You know the rules. Road.
You know the rules, buddy. Look at that. He's got his phone there. He's got it all set up. Yeah, but he's right. Like, they go everywhere, these things. They're basically taking over the city. Okay. And it finally occurred to me, it's like, remember you see those videos like in India or some other third world country where like there's scooters everywhere. It's just like total traffic chaos. And there's a cow too in the middle of the road. And I was like, that's what Toronto's turning into. You're going to see, and in India, the traffic laws are optional, I guess. So yeah, that's downtown Toronto. This video doesn't really do it justice because they're everywhere. Everywhere you turn, there's these scooters. Okay. So there's downtown Toronto. India. They're turning it into India. Next. Trial begins for My Way bus driver charged for dangerous driving causing death on June 8th, 2023 in Mississauga. Bus operator Baljit Dhaliwal pleaded not guilty in 2023 for dangerous driving causing death of Sharon Williams. So the trial's beginning. So that's nuts. It's been almost 3 years since the accident. So now they're just getting to the trial. Look at this. And so he killed one person. How many people did he? Okay, there's no sound on this. So this is a video from the crash. Boom. So he's driving his bus. I don't know who gave this guy a bus license. Holy shit. And, of course he didn't plead guilty. He pleaded not guilty because, they don't take no responsibility. Look at that. Now, how many people did... 1 dead, 9 injured after bus collides with multiple vehicles. 1 dead and 9 injured. It's like how many more Canadian lives will be destroyed by these shit Indian drivers? Like, you see them all the time, like the bus guy from Humboldt who hit the Humboldt Broncos bus, the truck driver. He hasn't been deported yet. I'm sure this guy will stay. He just plowed right through him. Ooh. Next, Nigeria. I got Nigeria in my sights too because there's like, I thought there was only 80 million people in Nigeria, but there's like 250 million. It's crazy. It's like 250 million Nigerians. And it's like a failed country. Like, even though they got tons of oil and other resources, people want to get the hell out of Nigeria, and a lot of them are coming to Canada. And I was like, we got to ban all immigration from Nigeria ASAP. And then we got Sudan, we got Somalia. They're going, we don't get as many Somalians, but we get a few. But Sudan, everybody wants to get the hell out of there. Canada just gave 100 million to Sudan. But I'm sure they'll still bring some more here. But this happens in Canada so much that immigration consultants have to be in on it. Nigerian fraudster arrives in 2023 with fake documents and claimed to be gay to buy him time to find a wife here. Still, it took 2 years to deport, assuming Canadian Border Services actually sent him home. Okay. Okay. But I've seen a lot of Nigerian stories lately, so it's kind of rung some alarm bells, because that's a lot of Nigerians, 250 million, and I don't know if it's a good idea for Canada to do that. You know, I know that's there's a lot that want to come here. So we're gonna open up a Nigeria file now. We had the India file open. Now it's got to be add Nigeria. I wish they would fix Nigeria. They got a lot of money, a lot of resources there. They should be there making that country great. This guy acts like he's still in India. But the Indians are saying, oh, he's Bangladeshi. I was like, it's Bangladesh, India, Pakistan. It's all the same. Indian subcontinent. Okay. Okay. So people in Toronto are getting frustrated with all these scooters. I was surprised how, I mean, what are you going to do? They're all over the place. I was surprised that they, nobody was really stopping them from doing anything. Here's another one. Debbie Bodcott. Pakistan as much as a toilet as India. Why do they insist on flooding the cleanest country in the world with the filthiest people? Yeah, Pakistan. We talk a lot about India, but there's like 250 million Pakistanis in Pakistan. So, and they all want to get the hell out of Pakistan. A lot of them. And they're a lot of them are Muslim, and it's like not the laid back Muslim style, the crazy Muslim, like the ones where they whip themselves. So yeah. We have to slow down. We're going to have to ban the immigration from Pakistan too. All right, here's this. I don't know how. I'm assuming this is a recent video. Over 5,000 young Canadians line up for Calgary job fair as desperation grows. One young man says he has sent 100 applications and not heard back. Yet the Carney government will approve 230,000 new foreign worker permits this year at the behest of the business lobby. Yeah. We see this all the time.
I could get in front of a...
Let's see what it says here.
At this job fair in Calgary, competition
We're in big
is
trouble.
fierce. More than 5,000 young people facing one of the toughest job markets in years.
It has been quite hard, to be honest. A lot of applying, a lot of online applying.
I've applied for like over 100 companies, and so far I haven't found any even for an interview.
High school students and recent grads struggling to land that first job, trying to make the right impression in person.
If I could get in front of a board, I think I'll be able to articulate myself better.
New job numbers from Statistics Canada show the unemployment rate among 15 to 24-year-olds is sitting around 14%. So far this year, the country lost roughly 95,000 jobs, more than half among young people.
Summer jobs, summer interns, co-op students are probably less of a priority or not being hired this year as they used to be in the past.
One of the challenges for younger workers is Canada's slowing economy. Older workers laid off from their jobs are now often competing with youth for the same entry-level roles.
There are less entry-level opportunities available because more of the senior seasoned staff are forced to take on those responsibilities and have the business operate at a little bit of a leaner level.
This Western wear store is getting ready for its busiest season and has already seen an increase in applicants.
There's a lot of eager kids out there that are wanting to get work.
The job market isn't expected to improve just yet. Employment site Indeed says the number of summer job postings are down 11% so far compared to this time last year. Ina Sidhu, CBC News, Calgary.
I guess thought it was interesting. Good luck getting a job. Young person, you have about 100 Indians in front of you to compete with. Polyev, here's a good one. Polyev is only comfortable with criticizing immigration from an economic standpoint. He must accept that immigration is a cultural issue. Yeah. The thing with Pierre Polyev is he lost the supporters on the center of the party who are in favor of all this legal immigration. And he lost the people on the right end of the spectrum who were against immigration. You know, he lost both of them. Instead of taking a firm position, which he doesn't, he just panders. So, Conservative Party in big trouble.
By far, in fact, other countries.
Let's see what this says.
As usual, what I care about is what you have to say about immigration.
But I agree with him. He's like, Polyev is only comfortable criticizing immigration from an economic standpoint. I agree with that, yes. Next, this one's crazy. I saw this couple posts of this. Employees of Winners, HomeSense, and Marshalls have described feces-smeared bathroom walls, finding used needles on bathroom floors, and people flushing security tags down the toilets. We are living in a sad, disgusting world. It didn't have to be like this. So, a lot of people go to Winners. It's a good store. Marshalls, HomeSense, whatever. Sometimes you can find some good stuff there. But you know, there are no Winners stores in third world countries because they'll get destroyed. So, you could use the washroom at Winners. Not anymore. Pretty soon you won't be able to buy anything because it'll be locked away. So let's see what this says. A lot of women like to go to Winners. So I'm thinking they're not going to be very happy if this trend continues. Bathrooms have become a high-risk area in stores, say industry expert. Did Winners close some of its bathrooms? Questions swirl amid debate over toilet access. When Fraser went to access the bathrooms in the discount home furnishing store, she says they were taped off and an employee told her the facilities were permanently closed. Okay. I don't know. I just thought that was interesting because I go to these stores. And that's kind of where Canada's heading. No more nice stores, affordable stores. Here's more India stuff, I guess. Ban immigration from India. I see that all the time. India man on work permit advertises free food to his fellow Indians. Tiny Home Takeout is a soup kitchen operated by St. Mary's Catholic Church in Kitchener, Ontario. These food programs are meant for homeless Canadians, but being used by cheap Indians who save money on food. Yeah, I mean, how low can you be? A church-run soup kitchen. Like, let's see what this guy says. I lost him.
और जॉब नहीं लगी अभी तक कनाडा में नए आए हो जॉब नहीं लगी अभी तक तो भाई स्टेशन देख लो पीछे और खाना कहाँ मिलेगा बढ़िया वो भी फ्री में
They're spreading pretty big into Kitchener. They're going to turn Kitchener and India in no time. Poor Kitchener.
से लेके पास्ता से लेके जूस से लेके वो भी सब कुछ मिलेगा तुम्हें
Look at this guy.
भाई लोकेशन तुम लोगों ने देख ही ली आना कब है ये तुम्हें पता ही है तो बस शेयर कर दो अपने कनाडा वाले दोस्तों से कि सालों रोया मत करो पैसों के लिए फ्री में आके खा लिया करो ठीक है थैंक यू मत बोलना केवल लाइक
Gotta get those hits. Gotta get those followers. All right. They got no shame. Because in Indian, I guess the Indian culture is like, if you can get free food, you should do it. Even though you're not supposed to, you should still do it. That's how they think. They think they're like, it's a flex. Like, hey, can I scam a soup kitchen out of some soup? That's a big flex for them. All right. Okay, that's the India file. I mean, that's the Canada, what's going on in Canada. And we got Mark Carney, majority. What's he going to do to us? Probably start cracking down on the internet. Who knows? Not that Pierre or the Conservatives were really standing in his way. They're kind of useless. Okay. So let's go quick to Iran. So it's been quiet with Iran. I think they're just taking a breather, like, Super Bowl halftime show. Meanwhile, they've still been moving lots of troops and stuff to the area, the U.S. And I'm sure, Iran's taking a breather too. So we'll find out if they actually have negotiations or they go. I already said because Israel is in control of the U.S. basically. I mean, it's kind of obvious that, and they want to destroy Iran. Like, total victory is the only option for them. So if they're in control of the states and total victory over Iran is their only option, like the only option they see, then the war is going to go and it's going to escalate. Okay, so regardless of what Trump says about negotiations or this or that, it's going to be Israel deciding, and I think they've already decided they're going to, they've waited decades for this. They're not going to just say, oh, we'll do an agreement. I just don't see that happening. This is kind of funny. Trump got criticized heavily for beefing with the Pope. He's beefing with the Pope over the war. And then he's putting he retweeted this meme of him as Jesus healing the sick. And a lot of people, Christians, called it like blasphemous and, very out of order, out of line. And then Trump said he thought that the reason he reposted it is because he thought it was a doctor and he was healing people because that's what he does. And so someone did the AI with him dressed as Jesus, and this is him explaining he since deleted it. He deleted it, which is very rare. He doesn't usually delete stuff. He doesn't like to apologize.
I did post it, and I thought it was me as a doctor, and it had to do with Red Cross as a Red Cross worker, which we support, and only the fake news could come up with that one. So I just heard about it, and I said, how did they come up with that? It's supposed to be me as a doctor making people better, and I do make people better. I make people a lot better.
Yeah, that's funny.
How did they come up with that?
So he thinks he's acting like the Antichrist, really.
A lot better.
Because I'm not really a Bible scholar, but the Antichrist is the one who comes and says he's the real peacemaker, the real deal. Crazy. Here's another post today. Like I said, it's been quiet. Everybody's kind of in a wait and see strategy here to see if there's going to be some kind of diplomacy or a ground invasion. Here's Robert Pape. He says, victory rhetoric is noise. Because, Trump's saying they won and the war is going to end soon. He says, victory rhetoric is noise. Troop movements are signal. U.S. is getting deeper into the escalation trap. So it says, U.S. sends thousands more troops to Mideast as Trump seeks to squeeze Iran. So, we'll see. If it once the ceasefire ends, if the bombing will resume. I think it will. And here's a distinguished University of Chicago professor John Mearsheimer on the Israel lobby. I like this video because it kind of illustrates what I was saying about Israel controlling the war, and they're the ones making the decisions. Like, everybody's confused about Trump and how he says one thing and then does the other and says another thing, but I think it's just noise. The Israelis are laser clear on what they want, and usually what they want the U.S. does. So instead of listening to Trump, just listen to the Israelis, and that's what basically Mearsheimer's saying.
No nuclear capability at
Here,
all.
hold on.
And the Israelis basically own us.
This is it. Yeah.
They're largely driving our negotiating position with the Iranians. And this is why I said to you, how do we ever resolve this conflict when the Israelis are committed to wrecking Iran and making sure Iran has no nuclear capability at all? And the answer is there's no way you can resolve this in some meaningful way. This conflict is going to go on and on and on because the Israelis want it to go on and on and on. And we are not in a position to stand up to the Israelis. It's as simple as that.
So, I like that clip because it kind of just totally says what I've been saying for a long time as predicting of what's going to go on with this war. You go by that, the Israelis want to wreck Iran. That's what's going to happen. And whether Iran fights back and holds them off or not, they're going to try and do that, and the U.S. is going to help them. So here's one more. Trump to escalate once ceasefire ends. Everything the administration is saying about the war being over and about prices coming down by summer is just another lie. So we'll see. But gas prices, if they resume the war, they could go up quite a bit. So it'll affect us all here. But right now, it's fairly quiet. So we'll see what happens. We'll be back tomorrow, April 16th. See what else develops. I'm sure a lot will happen from now and then till then. So until then, have a nice night.